Bazball is a religion for this English team. That's Michael Vaughan on Fox Cricket. I so hope on Friday night the first ball is from Australia to England's batting. And keep in mind that stat that was recounted by Robert Craddock yesterday. Ben Duckett, the last 605 balls he's faced in Test cricket, he has left 8 of them. There has never been a batting side that has approached the long form of the game like this. What will it look like? If you want to be ultra excited about this, that's what I call Steve O'Keefe. Steve, I cannot wait for Friday night and to see what this looks like. And I sincerely hope England's batting first.
I've actually been trying to get myself into a sleeping pattern which will resemble something that will keep me attuned and awake. So I do not miss a ball. The World Test Championship was a nice prelude to it. Crash Craddock has him at 605. I've actually got Ben Duckett at 710 balls that he's faced and only left just 8. So there's another stat for you. He's averaging 69 since Bazball. He made his debut in 2016 where he averaged 15 and poured a beer over Jimmy Anderson's head, if you do remember, during an Ashes series in Australia. He got sent home. But ever since then, the resurgence of his cricket, along with others, has just been amazing. They go into it with some youngsters, Zach Crawley, who McCullum has said himself, look, his skill set is not to be a consistent cricketer, but when he gets going, he's going to win matches for England. And I think those two will set the tone for England from a batting point of view. And that's not with even mentioning Harry Brook, who up until 2022 hadn't even played an international match. That he's averaging, high 80s at a strike rate of nearly 100. So am I excited? I cannot wait. I'm itching, Gerard, to see this first ball bowled.
These 5 tests are jammed in quick succession. I think Australia will need all 5 quicks at their disposal at various stages. I've committed myself to an order, a pecking order: 1 Cummins, 2 Boland, 3 Stark, 4 Hazelwood, 5 Nisa. I'll defer to you, though. What is your pecking order for the Australian quicks?
I agree with you, Gerard. And I think you've got 2 locks. You've got Nathan Lyon and Cummins who, look, it's going to be a big ask for Paddy Cummins, but he went in and he's even been quoted as saying he'd prefer to be underprepared than overprepared. They started their warm-up in Formby, played a bit of golf. They were prepared for the World Test Championship. So I expect him to be a lock for all 5 games. It's going to be a big ask, but as skipper, I think he's wanting to make it a point and leave a legacy, much like a lot of the ageing Australian cricketers. I would go with Boland in the first test. Why? Simply because I think Boland's basics will baffle Bazball. There you go. There's some alliteration. I learnt that at school. I think he'll be hard work, and he really is red hot at the moment. And I think, Test cricket, we know how England are going to play. They've come out and said it. They've stated it. The thing that surprises me a little bit, Gerard, is that England have come out and said they want to play on flatter wickets and shorter boundaries, but we haven't had success. When I say we as Australia haven't had success over there in winning a series in almost 20 years, and that is because of the lateral movement of the ball. So if anything, I think if they do play on flatter surfaces, I think that does play into Australia's hands slightly. But I'm with you. I've got Boland ahead, but I do think they will rotate the quicks. Mitchell Stark, of course, he's 4 wickets away from going past Mitchell Johnson on the all-time leading wicket-taking list as the leading left armer. Steve Smith needs only 53 runs to become the 4th ever batsman to score 9,000 Test runs. And if he does it in this innings, he'll equal Kumar Sangakkara at 172 innings to be the quickest man to 9,000 runs. So there's a lot to play for personally, and there's a lot to play for as a team as well.
So what of Hazelwood and his interrupted 2 years with injury, and when he's played, he has picked up injury along the way?
I mean, I trust Josh Hazelwood. I've seen him briefly just before he went over. He's a guy who knows his body well, and when he's prepared to play, he'll know. So it's not like he won't be going out second-guessing himself. He'll be putting the team first. And I think when he is ready to go, he is a banker. He has over 200 Test wickets. He has the experience in England. And I think he is a better bowler than Boland. I'm just going in with Boland to get him connected, to get him ready for this series, in which I think there may be some rotations. It is a condensed schedule, as you said. So what a great backup to have. And then if you fall back to your 5th pick, Michael Nisa, well, he's already had success. Steve Smith came out and said He's picked up some extra skills with the Duke's ball, and if it is flatter conditions, he said he's getting the ball to move sideways in the air, which will be vital, particularly if you do look through the batting lineup of England, who will be wanting to get on with it. Even Joe Root, as captain, averaged 45. Under the captaincy of Stokes, he's averaged closer to 60, and his strike rate is up at nearly around 70. So not only is it just the new batters that are coming in, this fearless brand of cricket these youngsters are playing, it's rubbing off on the old guys as well. The storylines are going to be great. McCullum versus McDonald, two similar coaches in the way that they're very relaxed and calm and cool and collected about the way they look at the game. You've got the battle of Cummins v Stokes, who really do want to leave a legacy. Stokes has got an injury cloud with his knee, didn't bowl a ball, didn't face a ball, and took a catch. I think the only player in Test history to play a Test match and not bat or bowl against Ireland. But I'm sure he'll be wanting to make his mark in this Test series. Only bowled one over in the IPL. Will he bowl? I think he'll bowl if he needs to, but they'll have the all-rounder skills. Moeen Ali is probably the surprise selection. What are your thoughts there, Gerard, on, what does that say about England?
Yeah, so it's desperate, but it's necessary desperation, isn't it? So it shows you that one of the key planks went wrong at the last, and you don't want that in the lead up to a series. I still think this is all about England's batting rather than its bowling, though.
Yeah, look, I agree. I think the battle is the bowling versus the batting, but I do think spin will play an important part. And Moeen Ali, is a guy who hasn't played or retired from first-class cricket. And in the modern day and age, you'd think that is absurd, picking a guy out of retirement to come back and play. He's played 92 T20s, but it just, again, reinforces the attitude that McCullum wants. He's won with the Chennai Super Kings. And if pace isn't working, taking the pace off, as we've seen in T20 cricket, we think it's all about our fast bowlers. The spinners can be ones who are likely to do the damage. And, of course, they've also got Joe Root. So looking at Edgbaston, look, it's a coin toss. England, over their last summer in England, have won the toss and bowled. The only time they haven't bowled is when they lost a toss against South Africa, and they lost against them. But outside of that, they've won 11 from 13. And the only other loss, of course, coming against New Zealand, where they lost by one run when they enforced the follow-on against New Zealand. And again, we're just playing an aggressive brand of cricket, which was, just irresistible to watch.
So chances are Australia will be batting, but I would love to see England bat at the start. Righto, Steve, I'm going to talk to you throughout. Enjoy the start on Friday night. I'll talk to you next week.
Good on you, Gerard.
Steve O'Keefe, that sense of anticipation builds for the Ashes.